All right, we're 5-1 with a push in our last $7.99 daily best plays on Pt.2. And the link for today's $1.99 daily best play is in the description section below. $1,000 bettors are up over $3,500 during that span. Now, if you're not signed up for that package, or if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to explain a little bit more about it in just a moment. But before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to the video. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my personal bets on Pt.2. I have packages on that website starting at just $1.99. Now, the purpose of these YouTube videos is to provide you with free informational sports betting content. And it's also designed to generate interest in signing up for a membership on my website. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my webpage. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. And what I do on my website is, well, I actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into our part 2 video here for college basketball. We're going to go ahead and start off with Kansas State taking on Texas Tech. And that's going to be a 9 o'clock Eastern start time on Monday, February 28th, 2022. Texas Tech is minus 12.5 with the total at 133. Now, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, they've been virtually unbeatable at home this season. They're 17-0 straight up at the United Supermarkets Arena. And they're also in the top 3 in home defensive rebounding. That's top 3 in the country, by the way. And speaking of defensive play, Texas Tech is limiting their competition to just 58 points a game at home. They're also limiting their opponents to just 39% shooting from the field in front of their home crowd. Now, scoring-wise, Bryson Williams is averaging over 13.5 points per contest, along with 4 rebounds and 44% shooting from three-land. Meanwhile, Terry Shannon, he's scoring double-digit points a game himself, along with 2 boards and a couple assists. And speaking of offensive production, Texas Tech is currently in the top 10 in the nation in offensive field goal percentage at home. They're taking on a Kansas State team who's winning only 40% of their road games. They also find themselves in the middle of a 3-game losing streak. Now, the Wildcats have certainly had their struggles offensively on the road. They're scoring only 68 points a game when traveling, and they're making only 39% of their field goals in that very same category. Now, when it comes to head-to-head meetings in this one, Kansas State lost 7 out of their last 10 games against Texas Tech. When it comes to the total in this one, Kansas State 70% to the over in their road games this season. They also went 71% to the over in their last 8 ball games at any location. Meanwhile, Texas Tech saw overs recently with TCU, Baylor, and Kansas. I'm going to lean toward Texas Tech minus 12.5 and the over 133. Next matchup, it is going to be San Diego State versus Wyoming. And that's going to be a 9 o'clock Eastern start time. San Diego State's minus 1.5 on the road, totals 129. But despite being favored on the road here, San Diego State has had a pretty tough time winning ball games when traveling. They lost 5 out of their last 8 as the road team. They're scoring only 60 points a game in those contests. Now, the Aztecs are also shooting badly from the field away from home. These guys are making just 40% of their field goals as the official road team. Now, they're taking on a Wyoming program who limits their competition to just 65 points a game and only 29% shooting from three-land. Now, the Cowboys are also doing a real nice job of rebounding the basketball. These guys are in the top 35 in the country in defensive rebounding at home. Now, when it comes to offensive production on the other end of the court, Graham Ike is dropping over 20.5 points per contest, along with 9 boards. Meanwhile, Drake Jeffries, he's drilling nearly 43% of his three-pointers. He also averages double-digit points a game. And speaking of offensive production, Wyoming's averaging over 81 points a game at home this year. They're actually in the top 20 of the nation in home offensive field goal percentage. Now, total-wise, Wyoming went 8-4 to the over in their last dozen at home. They're also 9-1 to the over in their last 10 meetings with San Diego State. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Meanwhile, the Aztecs on the other side, they saw 4 out of their last 6 get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward Wyoming plus 1.5 and the over 129. Next contest, it is going to be New Mexico versus Fresno State, 10 p.m. Eastern start time. Fresno State's -10 with a total at 134.5. But despite being the double-digit favorite at home here, the Bulldogs lost 4 out of their last 5 ball games. They also went just 30% against the number in their last 10. And speaking of covering the point spread, Fresno State also failed to cover in 7 out of their last 10 meetings with New Mexico. Now, the Bulldogs' biggest issue this season has been their offensive production, or lack thereof, however you want to look at it. These guys are scoring only 66 points a game at home. They're also having a tough time grabbing offensive boards there. Fresno's taking on a New Mexico squad who's beaten the likes of Air Force and Wyoming recently. The Lobos are also averaging 73 points per contest in their last 10 meetings with Fresno State. So if you're into historical trends, you may want to lean toward New Mexico in this spot here. Jamal Mashburn Jr., he's scoring over 17.5 points per contest for the Lobos, along with 2 boards and a couple assists. Meanwhile, Jalen House, he's scoring 16.5 points a game himself, along with 3.5 boards and 4 assists as well. Now, the Lobos are averaging 71 points a night on the road this year, and they successfully covered the point spread in 60% of those road games. Now, total-wise, 7 out of the Lobos' last 10 meetings with Fresno State went over the posted number. I'm going to lean toward New Mexico plus 10 in the over 134.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup of the show. It is going to be Washington State versus Oregon State, and that's going to be an 11 o'clock Eastern start time. Wazoo's -8 with the total at 137.5. And as bad as the Cougs have been here recently, they're still playing some really good defense on the road. Matter of fact, these guys allow only 63 points a game when traveling. That puts them in the top 20 in the country in that category. Now, the Cougs are also in the top 20 in the nation in defensive field goal percentage on the road. And they're limiting their opponents to just 30% shooting from 3-land in that same category. Now, scoring-wise, Michael Flowers, he's averaging over 13.5 points a game, along with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Flowers is also doing a real nice job shooting from beyond the arc this year. Meanwhile, Tyrell Roberts, he's scoring double-digit points a game himself, along with 2 rebounds and a couple assists. Now, they're taking on an Oregon State team here tonight who lost their last 14 straight losses. They actually haven't won a game since December 30th of last year. Now, the Beavers have also been terrible on defense. No real surprise there. They're allowing 78 points a game at home. They're also having a tough time guarding the field goal. Now, total-wise, Oregon State went 13-2 to the over at home this season, just giving up way too many points. They're also 7-3 to the over in their last 10 meetings with Wazoo. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Meanwhile, the Cougs, on the other side of things, they saw 3 out of their last 4 get over the posted total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Washington State -8 and the over 137.5. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Pt.2. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind, we utilize the Patreon platform for that website. And the way Patreon does their billing is, well, they bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you are thinking about getting a package here today, you may want to think about waiting until March 1st. That's tomorrow. You're going to get much better value waiting until March 1st. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single bet that I give out on that website, you're going to want to think about signing up for my board member tier package. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at Pt.2.